Create a YouTube 16:9 video using this script. Table of contents. 1. The Heart of Darkness, an unspeakable toll. 2. A King's Private Kingdom, the birth of the Congo Free State. 3. Red Rubber and White Gold, the economics of brutality. 4. The Force Publique, instruments of terror and control. 5. A World Awakens, the first international human rights campaign. 6. From Private to Public Rule, the Belgian Congo. 7. A Legacy of Plunder, the Lasting Wounds. Written by Adam Hochschild. Between the years 1885 and 1908, the population of the Congo Basin was reduced by as much as half, and by some estimates, this meant the loss of 10 million lives. This was not the result of a single war or a sudden famine. It was the consequence of a brutal and systematic system of exploitation. This system was designed for one purpose: to extract wealth from the land at any human cost. The world had rarely seen such a deliberate and calculated plundering of both a people and their home. The story of the Congo Free State is a stark reminder of how the pursuit of profit, unchecked by morality or law, can lead to human suffering on an almost unimaginable scale, leaving a scar on history that has yet to fully heal. The tragedy began not with a government or an army, but with the ambition of a single man. This man was King Leopold II of Belgium. He saw the vast, uncharted territories of Central Africa as a personal opportunity. The people of the Congo, who had lived in their own societies for centuries, with their own cultures and systems of governance, were suddenly subjected to a foreign power they had never met. They were not seen as partners or even as subjects to be governed. Instead, they were viewed as mere tools in a grand economic project. Their lives, their families, and their futures became secondary to the production quotas for rubber and ivory demanded by a distant king, a monarch who never once set foot in the land he claimed as his own. This period of history stands as a chilling testament to the extremes of colonial greed. The scale of the death toll is staggering. Millions of individual stories of loss, suffering, and terror. The primary sources of wealth were ivory and rubber. Ivory, white gold, was the main prize. Agents pushed into the interior, using force and coercion to make communities hunt and surrender tusks. The inflatable bicycle tire and the rise of the automobile created a global hunger for rubber. The Congo Free State was rich with wild rubber vines. The rubber boom turned the Congo into a site of unprecedented horror under a brutal system of forced labor. Villages faced rubber quotas, intentionally impossibly high. Men abandoned farming, hunting, and family life to trek for days into snake-infested forests to find vines. Failure brought swift punishment: whipping, beatings, death. Wives and children were taken hostage, held in crowded stockades where many starved or died of disease. The system extracted maximum value with minimal investment. Unpaid labor moved rubber and ivory downriver to Europe, mainly Antwerp, funding Leopold's fortune and lavish public works. He was lauded as the Builder King, paid for by Congolese blood. Section 4, the Force Publique, the private army that enforced Leopold's rule, established in 1888, claimed goals: defend the territory, fight the Arab slave trade. Reality: terrorize locals to enforce rubber and ivory quotas. Commanded by white European officers, with African soldiers, many recruited from afar, some kidnapped as children and raised in camps. Armed with modern rifles, they held immense power over unarmed villagers. When quotas failed, detachments raided villages, burned huts, and seized food supplies. Officers demanded proof for each bullet fired. The most common proof, a severed right hand, taken even from the living, including children. Baskets of hands appeared at state posts, a horror seared into the historical record. Beyond direct violence, the Force Publique took hostages, women and children imprisoned in terrible conditions until rubber arrived. For years, atrocities hid behind Leopold's humanitarian image. until witnesses spoke. George Washington Williams in 1890 wrote an open letter to King Leopold exposing cruel exploitation, kidnappings, and force publique raids. Missionaries like William Shepherd and Edvard Wilhelm Sjöblom sent back reports of burned villages, hostage camps, and mutilation. E.D. Morel uncovered a trade pattern of pure extraction, rubber and ivory in, soldiers and ammunition out. In 1904, he founded the Congo Reform Association, publishing pamphlets, articles, and organizing public meetings. Authors joined in. Harris's photographs of mutilated children and grieving fathers shocked the world. Eyewitness accounts, data, literature, and images formed the first great international human rights campaign. Roger Casement's report galvanized governments. Public outcry in Britain, the US, and Europe forced Leopold to relinquish his private kingdom. Facing overwhelming condemnation and pressure at home, Leopold's position collapsed. The evidence compiled by E.D. Morel, Roger Casement, and others was irrefutable. Legislatures openly debated intervention. In 1908, Leopold ceded the Congo Free State to Belgium, no longer his private property, now the Belgian Congo. He sold it to his own country for a handsome sum, still profiting. Some brutalities were curtailed, the hand-cutting regime abolished, terror-based rubber quotas dismantled. A more conventional colonial administration emerged. Biased courts, basic infrastructure and services, often mission-run. Large Belgian firms took over concessions, pivoting from rubber to copper, gold, diamonds, and later uranium, especially in Katanga. Congolese men, often coerced, labored for low wages in dangerous mines, housed in segregated camps, serving an export machine. The outcome, staggering gains for Belgium, and an immeasurable human cost for the Congo. For decades, colonial wealth flowed from rubber, ivory, copper, diamonds, and more. Antwerp rose, corporations thrived on Congolese labor and land. A one-sided transfer enriched the colonizer while the source was impoverished. Millions perished through murder, starvation, exhaustion, and disease, tearing families and communities apart. Traditional authorities were eliminated or co-opted into cruelty. At independence, infrastructure served exports, not people, and a native managerial class barely existed. The legacy, instability, corruption, and continued foreign exploitation, rooted in borders and extractive systems drawn by colonizers.